Finally got her done. The Rogue ST driver review from a club maker's perspective. Let's go check it out. Welcome back to the McGolf Fitting Room. Jim McCleary here, 6-time Top 100 Best Club Fitters by Golf Digest. And this is a club maker, club fitter review. All right, it's not a guy, you're not going to see 280, 290, 300 yards off the tee. You're just not gonna. 100 mile an hour swing, so okay, and we'll see how it works from there. This is a club maker's perspective, a club fitter's perspective of the Callaway ST. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, Rogue ST. Rogue is a name that we've heard before. The Rogue was a pretty decent driver. I didn't get along with it too well, but a lot of people did, right? A lot of people got along with it. Nice blue color-ish, right? And they had a little bit elongated back on it, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. Now, what happens here is every other year they come out with something that's a movable weight, something, and another year where they don't, right? And that's keeping the line relevant. This year is the non-movable weight. Last year was the Flash, or the Epic, I'm sorry. Last year was the Epic, and it was an excellent driver. It started sporting the H frame, right? And it was more of a fairway finder. I mean, it hit the ball far, but it was a fairway finder. But you don't quite see that. You didn't see that in the marketing. Now, with the Rogue, right? With the Rogue ST, you're seeing that. They're saying speed and stability. Speed and stability. That's something that you normally don't hear together. All right, and why is that? Well, there's a couple of things. There's 3 levels of technology that Callaway wants you to know. Number 1 is the weighting system. The weighting system, you see, goes right there. All right, and it's right where the gold is at, or the copper color. I think the copper color is better. And behind it is upwards, I believe, of 26 grams of tungsten. Now, each model has a little bit different. I believe the Max, the Rogue ST Max has the most, where the Rogue ST D has the least, and the LS and the double and the triple diamond have more. They're in between. So that's where it's at. And why does the D have less? And I'll tell you here in a little bit. So that's one technology. The second technology is the AI face. Callaway bought a supercomputer. Everybody knows about that one now. And each year they tweak it a little bit more. They have people that are basically brilliant running the supercomputer, and what they're doing is they're modifying the face and tweaking the face for more of the results that they're looking for, right? I've seen, I've been dealing with Callaway for quite some time, and it was probably a big purchase, but the dividends have been pretty big because now this AI stuff is into their irons and hybrids and fairway woods, and it's paying off, right? It's paying off. The third is the jailbreak. Right, the jailbreak technology, now they have what's called a speed frame. And I don't know if you can, there it is, right up in here, the jailbreak speed frame. Now you see the two copper slots right there? That's where the speed frame is connecting to the bottom, and then it connects to the crown. And what that allows it to do is it keeps the energy right there, so it transmits more into the ball so that you get the higher ball speed. Now, in the previous models, including the Epic, they were little dots across the bottom. First they started out with 2 dots, and then here in the last model there's 4 dots to give it kind of an anchor point. Well, they had this ovally look like you saw here on some of the hybrids, and they called them ninja blades. Well, now we're seeing the ninja blades on the driver. It is what it is. And so those 3 combine to give you this year's model. They all have the carbon crown, they all have the removal. So if you look again, this is removed weight, right? Remember, I was used to talk about, hey, we removed the crown, put a carbon fiber on there so we could put weight wherever we wanted it. And they did, right? Well, now they're removing even more weight. So now it's into a solid framework, right? A solid framework in order to make this go. And what it does is then what they'll do is they'll remove some pieces, parts. This is the D model. So they're removing this weight here and filling it with a carbon fiber so they can put it here so it gives it that draw bias feel. All right, so there's all there's all that. So the last bit is the colors. This is kind of a departure from the normal Callaway lineup, right? Normally you see blues and greens and that kind of stuff. This is a black, a matte black to be sure, and then it's outlined with a copper and white configuration. Not only on the top when you got it around here, but also on the bottom. This is a standout driver for Callaway from a cosmetics appeal prospect. A lot of people, you listen to it, the buzz is this club looks outstanding. And I'd agree. It does look very, very good. And there's one more thing that you don't see, that you don't hear about, and I've kind of noticed it. I noticed it in some of the faces that I've been messing with. But if you look on the face, I'm going to use the D. If you look on the face, there's a lot going on in the face. There's a lot of lines, and there's a lot of divisions and stuff like that. And it actually has, it's not just a picture. In the past, and this isn't the only company that's done it, it's just nothing more than basically paint or a very light groove. It's basically no grooving. We'll go with that. This has got a coarse face on it now. And in the LS, and I believe in the triple black diamond, that it's even more coarse. So that's kind of unusual. I'm not sure why that is, but it's the flash face SS22. Of course, it's for the Model 22. That's just a marketing thing. So it's not too bad. So a good look at a dress. They all have a different shape at a dress, and they sit behind the ball very, very well with the Callaway chevron giving you the direction and the best part of the club. So now that we've done that, let's go hit. All right, let's take a look at the Rogue Max ST and the Max D. What we're looking for here is the flight, and as you can see, primarily most of them are up the middle with a couple of tugs over to the right. And that's kind of what we're looking at because it does have a slightly closed face, although not nearly as draw bias. And we see all these, my flights, 248, 254, 241, 248. There was a couple into almost 260, and primarily to the right-hand side, keeping in mind that I'm a lefty, so that's to my inside. Now the Max D we're going to see did exactly what it was supposed to. It went to the inside, and the largest portion of them went to my inside, with 2 going straight, and that was me trying to actually hit something to go to the right. I'm at 234, 237 is the fades, 243, 249, then it goes back to 230, 235. And those are the kind of the miss-hit fade shots, so it didn't do what we wanted it, or it did do what we wanted it. Now if we look at the landing areas, we have the blue is the Rogue ST Max, and the red is the Max D. And primarily you see where they're more towards the center and just a couple mistakes to the inside. Then we have the D, where most of them are to the right, to the draw bias, where the mistake shots are basically up into the center. And that's me trying to manipulate a club, and that's about as good as it got. And that's how much draw bias this thing truly is. Now, if we look at our numbers here, the Max ST, 247, 252 overall, with a Max D of 240, 244 overall. And that's average, remember, when I had 2 of the mistake shots. So it's not that one is shorter or anything, it's just the way that it is for when you hit one that bad. They were primarily hit about the same, half a mile apart. Smash factors were very, very close. The axes were certainly to the inside, as one would think. I hit the D ball just a little bit higher than I did the other ones. So if we want to see this, here's more of the flight times. And here we go. This is the Max ST. And again, not too bad. I'd like to see a little bit less dispersion. And then there's the Max D, the draw bias, with the inside pulls and then the straight ball misses. Okay, I kind of told you, when we were talking about going through the Flight Scope X3, that the D model, the draw bias model, and this is where I was going to tell you we were talking about it, is it doesn't have a big weight in the back because it has a bigger weight, it has another weight right there. So the weight of the club head is the same, it's just distributed differently. Now, did it perform as expected? Yes, it did. It's a draw bias club, and if you guys need something that needs to go to your inside because you're flaring it, the D model is where you want to go. Does it mean it's a bad club because it went shorter than the other one? Not at all. All right, that's the reason why you go get fit, to ensure you get the right model for your swing type. All right, there's a go get fit. It will pay dividends to go out there and try them out. Right. All right, in the ST Max, it did perform very, very well. This is going to be the flagship model for them. This is the one that's probably going to, appeal to most folks because of the way that you're going to see a lot of marketing and conceptual ideas in this. I'm going to try and break a piece of that right here. Yes, this is probably going to find its way into most people's bags. Why? Well, because it sits a degree closed, which most golfers need. Now, we're talking most golfers, right? The average golfer, not the average, the average player, right? The average golfer. This guy is going to fit them. It's got a lot of forgiveness. It's got a lot of weight in the back for its stability. The AI in here is working well to keep you into the fairway, and it's a good look behind the ball. When you miss off center, it's not going to kill you, right? And there's the reason why this will most likely find its way into a lot of people's bags. Now, when I hit it, because I'm just splitting this up into 2 videos, Max and Max D versus the LS and the Triple Diamond, okay? This one worked the best in this particular instance. You'll see what happens in the second one, so, be watching for that video. While we're talking about that, if you would, please like and subscribe. That way you get more of these videos when they drop, and I get to get the sub count and I get a little bit more attention. Also, on Mondays at 17:30 or 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a live stream and we talk about this same stuff. Golf equipment repairs, fittings, opinions, reviews, you name it, it's out there. And we talk to people from around the world, right? The UK, Australia, the Netherlands area. I mean, it's just everywhere. So join us. It's on YouTube at McGolf Custom Clubs or on Facebook of the same. Alrighty, so again, this is going to find its way into most people's bags because of the forgiveness, its shape, its ability to get the ball out there. And it's going to, because of that. You're going to have three big shaft options. One is going to, for the slower or smoother swingers, not necessarily slower, but smoother, okay, is the Cypher. The Project X Cypher, and it's going to be an ultra lightweight up into about the 50 gram. Now, don't let this thing fool you. This is a stout shaft. All right, it is very good. It's very good in the butt section. So even if you're smoother and you go to bring it around, it's going to feel good, right? It's going to feel good, and it's going to play very, very well. Don't count that one out. The other two are from Tensei or Tensei, and the Tensei Blue or the Tensei White. The Tensei Blue is the middle of the road, get the ball up in the air, good feeling, again, forgiving shaft. That will most likely be paired with the Rogue ST Max. Now, if you're more of an aggressive swinger or you really tug down on the ball, then the Tensei White, all right, the Tensei White is where to go. They will come in slightly heavier weights, and the profiles are a little more stout to be able to keep up with you so you're not spraying the ball everywhere. All right, that's what the white's for. Okay, so we got to see it, you know. Do I like the club? Yeah, I like the club. I think it'll fit a gob of people. Right now, if you look on the internet, it's in the race for the most distance with other clubs already out there. And I think it's going to keep going that way. Callaway very rarely loses in that category, so keep up the good work, guys. Again, classic look at a dress, extraordinarily high forgiveness with the new speed frame and the extra weight that's in the back. The new Tensei Blue, which has been very, very popular. And again, we're right down the middle of the road here, guys. And I think it's going to work out very, very well. Combined with the new golf balls that are coming out, I think we're going to see some new distance. Guys talking about, oh, I'm hitting the ball further than I ever have. I don't doubt that in a minute. In order to make all this work, just like we're talking, go get fit. Go get fit. The right length, the right loft, the right flex, the right weight, the right grip size, all of that. Go get fit, and then you will not be disappointed in your driver. All right, so as we've always done in the past, if you have any questions, put them in the show notes below. Again, like and subscribe. Join us on the live stream if you would. And as always, let your scores go low.